Hello, everyone, and welcome to Balance Baby, the podcast designed to help you consistently show up as the best version of yourself. My name is Karen, and I'll be your host. I'll be here every week sharing stories and teaching you techniques to prioritize the only thing we have any control over in this world, ourselves. You made it to the final episode of Season 2. The idea behind this season was to broaden your perspective of life and how it works. We're living in a truly magical time where science is beginning to prove what many spiritual teachings have known for centuries. For example, we have evidence that confirms that gratitude improves our physical and mental well-being. It acts like a lubricant for our brains, allowing us to be more flexible as we go through life. It's amazing how simple acts of appreciation can rewire your neural pathways and increase your overall health. Or, did you know that we each emit an energetic field around our bodies? This field extends beyond our physical form and interacts with the energy fields around us. These interactions are subtle, but they're very powerful. They influence our emotions, our thoughts, and even our physical well-being. When you stand next to someone who is calm and positive, their energy can uplift you and it can soothe you. But on the flip side, when you're around someone who is stressed or anxious, this can raise the cortisol stress levels within your body. This is just one of the many reasons why it's so important to be mindful of the people you spend time with. Now, I want you to remember a time when you thought about someone and then they reached out to you. Is it a random coincidence? Or is there a chance that we can communicate energetically regardless of time and space? We don't know yet, but scientists are actively working to uncover the complexities of the brain, and I'm so excited to witness these discoveries in real time. There are 8 billion people in this world, and that makes me feel like the people we welcome into our lives and the people we keep in our lives are not random. I, like many of you, have a variety of people in my life. There are some people who have been with me since I was a kid. There are others who I've known for over 10 years. And there are others that I've become very close with within the last 3 years or so. There's a popular quote that some of you might have heard, which says, "People come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime." This quote emphasizes that relationships serve a purpose in our lives regardless of their length. Each person we encounter acts as a mirror, reflecting back to us our most beautiful qualities and shedding light on the shadows we try to conceal. If you find yourself surrounded by negativity or feeling constantly drained by those around you, it might be a signal to look within and ask, what part of me is resonating with this energy? Think about it this way. Based on the law of attraction, we attract into our lives that which we are being. This suggests that our outer world is a reflection of our inner state, and it suggests that we attract at our level of vibrational frequency. So, if you're attracting jealous, unfaithful, or otherwise negative people, it's an invitation to turn inwards and examine your own beliefs and behaviors. Maybe you have a subconscious belief that everyone cheats or that you're not worthy of loyalty or genuine love. The universe will present us with opportunities to confront and heal these parts of ourselves through relationships with others. This isn't to say that we're responsible for other people's actions or behaviors, but it does highlight the importance of self-awareness and personal growth. You've heard me say that self-awareness is a superpower, and it truly is. It is the key to understanding how people are our mirrors. It empowers us to take responsibility for our own energy. By developing a deeper awareness of our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, we can start to see the patterns in our relationships. This awareness allows us to break free from the cycles that no longer serve us and to consciously choose relationships that uplift us and support our growth. One of the most powerful lessons in life is understanding that we attract what we are. If you want love, joy, and positivity in your relationships, it's important to embody these qualities first. Learn to lead by example. Become the kind of person you want to attract. This doesn't mean pretending to be something you're not. It's about genuine self-improvement and aligning your actions with your highest values. When you focus on becoming your best self, you set a standard for the type of relationships you want to nurture. Start looking at the people around you and the circumstances around you as clues for where you're doing well or what you might need to work on within yourself. Let's use sloth as an example. If you don't know who Sloth is, go back and listen to Season 2, Episode 9. Sloth helped me in so many ways. You already know that he helped me heal my relationship wounds, but it went so much deeper than that. When he would compliment me or notice things about me, it felt like he was seeing me the way I saw myself. But because of my own insecurities, I tended to be critical of myself. But in his eyes, I was confident and worthy of admiration. Sloth became a mirror, reflecting back to me the parts of myself I struggled to see or accept. His compliments and observations weren't just about making me feel good. He was helping me recognize and embrace my own value. By being witness to the synchronicities in my life and allowing me to share my beliefs, he created a safe space for me to solidify these beliefs. His perspective helped me recognize my own worth and encouraged me to be kinder to myself. His support pushed me to align more closely with my higher self and no longer be scared of the opinions of others. When I was newly separated, I attracted unhealed people into my life because I myself was unhealed. Dr. Tara Swart is a neuroscientist and author, and she talks about how we often attract people with similar psychological wounds or unresolved emotional issues. When we have unresolved emotional wounds or traumas, these experiences can create psychological patterns that become part of our subconscious blueprint. This blueprint can then act as a magnet, drawing in others who have similar wounds or emotional patterns. This attraction isn't just about romantic relationships. It can also apply to friendships or work relationships and even acquaintances. One of the reasons we attract people with similar psychological wounds is because they mirror our own unresolved issues. This mirroring effect can be both enlightening and challenging. On one hand, it provides an opportunity for self-reflection and growth. By recognizing our own wounds in others, we can become more aware of areas in our lives that need healing. On the other hand, it can lead to relationships that perpetuate these wounds, creating cycles of emotional pain and conflict. For example, if someone has a fear of abandonment, they might unconsciously be drawn to people who have similar fears or who are emotionally unavailable. This dynamic can reinforce their fear and make it difficult to break free from the pattern. But by bringing awareness to this attraction, they can start to address their own fear and choose relationships that are healthier and more supportive. This is why self-awareness is so crucial. Dr. Swart emphasizes the importance of introspection and self-reflection. When we take the time to explore our own emotional landscape, we can identify the wounds and traumas that influence our behaviors and choices. This awareness then allows us to consciously choose relationships that align with our healed version rather than our wounded version. Ultimately, attracting people with similar psychological wounds is a natural part of the human experience. This is often why people from our past will resurface in our lives. This is an opportunity for us to choose. Do we evolve and grow, or do we stay the same and repeat patterns from the past? By embracing self-awareness and using relationships as mirrors, we can break free from cycles of emotional pain and create relationships that support our highest potential. This reminds me of a very relevant story. Last fall, I ventured out into the world and met so many amazing people. If you've been listening to the podcast, you already know this. As I traveled and met new people, I noticed that the more I embraced my true self, the more I attracted people who resonated with that authenticity. When you align with your true self and live authentically, you naturally draw others who support and reflect that authenticity back to you. I traveled for a total of 7 weeks. I spent the beginning and the end alone, but I was joined by a good friend for 3 weeks in the middle. It was perfect. She arrived right when I started missing the comfort of home and was craving connections with people who already knew me deeply. I was introduced to this friend through a mutual friend, and we initially connected during a challenging time in both of our lives. She was going through a divorce, and I had recently finalized my own divorce, so I could empathize with her. Similar to me, she didn't have many people in her life who were going through similar challenges, so our shared experience created a strong bond between us. At that time, I was attracting people into my life who had the same psychological wounds as I did, which reinforced Dr. Swart's theory. But as I continued to heal and grow, I noticed that our friendship also began to transform. We either outgrow each other or we grow together. In this case, my friend started to embrace her own path of healing. She began going to therapy, prioritizing her self-care, and really diving into personal growth. We were mirrors for each other, continually reflecting back the changes we were making in our own lives. We've only been friends for about 2 or 3 years, but there is depth to our connection because of the healing we've done and the growth we've experienced during our friendship. On our trip, we had countless conversations about life and love and everything in between. We laughed, we danced, we cried, we ate the most amazing food, and experienced new adventures together. We saw each other in a new light, and the trip truly influenced our friendship in the best way possible. Without realizing it, she actually helped me solidify the name for the podcast. I didn't tell many people that I was going to start a podcast before I actually created it. 1, I didn't want anyone to project their doubts onto me. And 2, I didn't want to feel pressured or embarrassed in case I wasn't able to make it happen, which honestly feels laughable now that I'm here with no signs of stopping. My friend met up with me in Porto, and when she arrived, I decided to tell her about this podcast idea I had been playing with. So far, I had only tested the idea with strangers I met on my travels. Everyone was very encouraging, and I took that as a positive sign. But now, I was sharing this idea with a friend of mine, someone whose opinion truly mattered to me. She was enthusiastic and excited for me. She was supportive then, and she continues to be supportive now. Anyways, from Porto, we made our way to Albufeira, and then eventually to Spain. In the weeks prior to her meeting with me, I spent a lot of time meditating, reading, and just being active in general, like hiking and walking. After she arrived, we spent a lot of our time eating, drinking, and partying. It was a huge difference, but I wouldn't have it any other way. During our time together, we met some amazing people and had the best experiences. Partying in Europe wasn't on my itinerary at all, but somehow it ended up being one of my favorite parts of the whole trip. I discovered a newfound appreciation for dance music, and my music taste has permanently changed. I felt so free and joyous and realized that dancing makes my soul smile. One morning, after a night of partying, we were hungover in our hotel room, and she looked at me and said, "You're so funny. You wake up in the morning and meditate, and then at night, you're shaking your ass on the dance floor." I looked over at her and said, "Balance, baby." I didn't know it at the time, but the name was born. My friend's comment touched on a point that I hold near and dear to my heart. We are complex human beings. We have so many layers to us. No matter how similar our stories may be, we are unique individuals, and we don't fit into boxes. One of the reasons I struggled to embrace my spirituality was because I misunderstood its role in my life. I thought that if I'm positive and detached from outcome, that I shouldn't feel upset or overwhelmed when things don't go my way. If I'm a kind person, I should never need to express my anger. The truth is, just because you strive to live positively doesn't mean you won't face challenges or feel negative emotions. Being spiritual doesn't mean denying our humanity or repressing the feelings that are meant to guide us in our lives. Spirituality is not something you practice from time to time. It's a way of being. Embracing balance means acknowledging and honoring all of these parts of who we are without feeling the need to conform to any single identity or expectation. Thank you so much for tuning in to my 12th episode of Season 2. Take a moment to consider the people in your own life. Who are the people that help you see your strengths and worth? Who are the mirrors that challenge you to face your insecurities and grow from them? Remember, you have the power to choose the energy you want to bring into your life and the types of relationships you want to nurture. Be the kind of person you want to attract, and watch how your life transforms. All relationships are invaluable, including your relationship with yourself. Begin thinking about how you can start incorporating more balance into your own life. Use it as a tool to guide you towards your best and most authentic self. This season has been so much fun to create. These episodes have facilitated a lot of healing and growth for myself and for many of my listeners. I will always be grateful to have this platform and for the opportunity to share my perspective. That being said, I have an exciting announcement. All of the episodes from Season 1 and 2 and onwards will soon be available in video format on YouTube. My goal is to reach even more people with the valuable content we've explored together. I'm passionate about spreading these messages and reaching those who are seeking this kind of information and connection. I'm focused on growing our community so that I can create episodes on specific topics that you're interested in, or offer help with questions you might have. If you have any comments or suggestions, I would love to hear from you. Feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. The username is @BalanceBabyPodcast across all platforms. Make sure you hit the follow button so you're up to date on when the new season will be released, and you can enjoy the social media content I'll be creating in the meantime. I'll be taking a break from releasing new episodes for the rest of the summer while I focus on creating the YouTube videos. I also have a secret project that I'm working on, which I'm excited to tell you more about in a few weeks. If you find my content valuable, please be sure to leave a 5-star review and hit the follow or subscribe button wherever you consume podcasts. Together here, we're creating a community of beautiful souls ready to uplift each other, ready to experience all the joy that this life has to offer us. And don't forget, life is all about balance, baby.
Balance, baby.